on to the Highbush Cranberry. Again, we're gonna start with the width, so with the rooting hormone. We're gonna start at number 1. So Highbush Cranberry, number 1 with hormone. We're gonna follow the exact same steps here. We're gonna expect that we probably won't be able to see that callus overly well, right? And we don't wanna wipe off that that rooting hormone. So we're gonna let it do its thing. We're gonna check for roots very carefully. It's hard because we've got the perlite that looks exactly like nice white little roots, but I don't see any roots and I don't see any callus. We do, however, have flushing. We can see that from the foliage up top here. So, and whether it's foliage, whether it's vegetative like flower buds, whatever is happening, we are just gonna call this F so that we don't have to differentiate we don't want to make it harder than it has to be. Okay, so this would get a code of F for Highbush Cranberry, number 1 with hormone. Highbush Cranberry, number 2 with hormone. Oh, thought that was maybe a root, but it's not. So we can see some rooting hormones still here. Probably can. There, that gives you, I don't want to brush it all off, but again, we can see that difference in the callus right along the edge there. So we've got some callus just starting to develop here. And it's, you know, just starting to the point where I'm not going to call it callus. It's nice for you to see. However, to try and remain consistent with the rest of our data collection, I'm not going to label that callus just yet, but I expect that next week we'll probably be able to call it C. So Highbush Cranberry number 2 with hormone, we're going to give a code of F again because we've got foliage flushing, but there's no roots. And even though there's a tiny bit of callus, there's not enough for us to really call it calloused yet. So I hope that makes sense. The data collection is always tricky when you first start out, but when you have those kind of in-between areas, as long as you collect the data consistently, then it makes for a sound experiment, okay? And the other thing that wouldn't be fair is because we're not taking a close look at the other 2 rooting hormones, so 1 and 3 with rooting hormone, it's not really fair to say number 2 has callus and 1 and 3 do not, because they may very well, we just can't see it yet. So again, we're not going to say anything about callus here. I don't see any roots, but we have the foliage flushing. So Highbush Cranberry 1, 2, and 3 with rooting hormone all have the same code of F. And now